Something's got me all shivering. I'm seeing double and I'm bending shapes. I'm having visions all trembling. I'm nodding off and now I'm switching lanes. And oh, it's unsettling. I can tell I'm out of range.
Welcome to the Rockin' Review. You know what? If you like that, you're going to love the new album by Damon Johnson, Memories of an Uprising. You know, I remember you from the Brother Kane days. And obviously from there, you went into Alice Cooper. You worked with John Waite. You know, you've done everything. I mean, with Thin Lizzy, Black Star Riders, and now solo.
You know, it sounds pretty dazzling.
It is pretty dazzling. I didn't even throw in the Sammy Hagar part yet.
Yeah, man. I mean, so many amazing musicians.
You've
and
had
artists.
A pretty amazing career, Damon.
And you know, guys that were heroes of mine.
Yeah.
You know, I had Alice Cooper records as a kid. Thin Lizzy defined my path as a guitar player and a songwriter. You know, I really studied those records.
And for you to get to be a part of that, but also I didn't even bring up, Damon, because I get to embarrass you on air. You know, your time with Stevie Nicks, with a song with her, and also with Santana.
Yeah, man.
In your spare time.
In my spare time. The interesting thing about both of those songs is that, you know, we weren't pitching. I was writing one song for myself,
right,
and I was helping a friend of mine write a song for his record, just independently.
Wow.
And, you know, those songs made their way to those artists. And to get a phone call that Stevie Nicks wanted to record a song, you know, a lyric that I wrote about my fiance at the time,
right,
my wife.
Yeah.
Now, incredible.
Yeah, and at that point you think going, who is this? Who's kidding me on this, right?
Yeah, so I'm being punked right now.
Well, you know what? I love the new album, man, because it's so rock and roll with Memories of an Uprising. And I know you really worked hard to bring this out, and it was a tough decision, you know, coming out of Black Star Riders, which came out of Thin Lizzy, to kind of make the leap to solo, which you're doing now, and going out on the road with this album and really bringing some rock and roll.
Well, you know, man, I mean, I am shamelessly a rock artist. I'm always going to be.
Right.
It's the music of my life, you know.
Yeah.
And so to have this batch of songs, I just felt like I had really expressed a complete idea. I had some themes I wanted to cover lyrically.
Right.
And it's the first time I kind of started with the lyrics and then brought the music to it.
Wow.
It's always kind of been the other way around.
Yeah.
And you know, and I had a great experience in Black Star Riders. I was there for 6 years and 3 great records, and I really credit those guys with, I guess, reigniting my desire to just write my own songs.
Sure.
And, you know, this has been exciting for my family. You know, we live in this amazing city.
Right.
And everything here is set up for artists just like me.
Well, you know, that's what we were talking about, too, because, I mean, we have a lot of mutual friends, you know, like with Jason Isbell and with Tom Kiefer, and you know, and you played, you know, with Damn Yankees, with Tommy Shaw, and it's like going, all those people live here or come through here all the time.
Everybody's here. Every time I go to B&A Airport, I always run into Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick at the magazine stand. I swear it's happened 5 times.
It's like a scheduled meeting now. It's like, I always joke about when you go to when I go to Home Depot or somewhere like that, and I always bump into somebody like Phil Kagi. It's like, oh sure, Phil Kagi, Home Depot. Hey.
Of course. No, it's it is a who am I going to see today kind of thing.
But you know, you have played with so many of these artists over the years too, and I wanted to bring up, you know, that you sort of overcame some challenges, you know, with the crowdfunding and everything to do this album.
Yeah.
And still been able to make it happen.
Yeah, man. I chose Pledge Music as the crowdfunding platform to put this record together. I had a good experience with them about 3 years ago with Black Star Riders.
Right.
So I felt confident with it. And unfortunately, those guys went bankrupt.
And it hurt so many bands and artists when they did.
A lot of bands and artists.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was easy in the initial kind of blowback of it to be angry, and I, you know, that's a natural reaction.
Totally.
And, you know, it was a substantial amount of money that had all been earmarked to manufacture my physical copies, to hire publicists.
Well, yeah, because I mean, and you did vinyl for this also. I mean, it's a lot of investment.
It was, man. But, you know, my fans are the boss. You know, and they made this record happen.
Right.
And when the Pledge Music debacle became news, you know, to all of them, man, we were humbled and blown away at their response and reaching out. And
well, and also so many of your musician friends that you've played with and written with over the years and been on tours with really came out of the woodwork to support you too.
Yeah, you know, we just had the one concert to maybe try to recoup some of that loss. And my longtime friend Mike Ferris, Grammy-winning, authentic artist, man. I love Mike. Kevin Martin from Candlebox called me. The whole band flew into town and played. And then talk about Nashville neighbors, my buddy Brad Whitford of one little band called Aerosmith.
Some people might have heard of that.
He said, hey man, I'd love to be a part of this. And so incredible, man. So, you know, I just feel like engaging my fans is the way forward for me.
I totally agree
as I grow my solo career.
Well, and also you think about it, Damon, they've been there through your career from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, from when you started playing, you know, as a young guitarist and you know, as you formed your first bands, and then how, you know, Brother Kane came together.
Totally, man.
You know?
And honestly, Eric, it's been the greatest fulfillment of the tour dates that I'm doing right now. Is getting to talk to these fans face to face, and it's incredible for me to hear them say, man, we're so happy you're back behind the microphone.
And playing some rock and roll.
Playing rock music like you've always played. And you know, I'm proud of the fact that there's a familiarity between the new album. People can connect the dots to Brother Kane.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I love the artwork. We were talking about the cool logo on the front and then the images and everything, you know, on the back and inside. I mean, you had a great artist working on this.
Yes, my longtime friend, Stephen Jensen. He lives up on the outskirts of Chicago.
I mean, you can't see this album and not think rock and roll.
No, man, he nailed it. We've done 3 projects together now, and this is the coup de grace.
It's going to make great T-shirts.
It is. They're all great T-shirts. DamonJohnson.com, folks, right now.
I'm just saying that it's like going, that looks pretty awesome.
No, it does look great on a shirt. Stefan and his wife Sylvia are just, they're family to us, man. And I trust him in every capacity, man. Photography, artwork, design, graphics. He did the T-shirts. I mean, he's really special.
Well, you know, and looking at your career too, and it's just been amazing who you've worked with. I mean, from even Faith Hill over the years. But you got to tell the story on how you ended up working with Sammy Hagar, because it's one of my favorite albums. And I didn't know this about you until I was prepping for the show. That on Marching to Mars, you were a part of that.
Yeah, man. Sammy made a great solo album back in the mid-'90s. Brother Kane had just done about a dozen tour dates with Van Halen. Come on, man. And Van Halen changed all of our lives. So it was this amazing experience, and I hadn't been home from that tour for about 2 weeks, and there was a big announcement on MTV one day, Sammy Hagar has left Van Halen, and I'm like, what? Brother, it wasn't 24 hours, and the phone rang, and it's Sammy Hagar. Hey, Damon, I love that song, Fools Shine On. Man, I'm mad at those guys. I'm going to make a solo record right now. Do you want to come out and write with me? And I was... So Sammy picked me up in his I Can't Drive 55 Ferrari.
That had to be surreal.
And we drove to his house, and we wrote this great song, Salvation on Sand Hill.
Yeah, love that.
And I stayed at their house, and I woke up the next morning, and he made me pumpkin pancakes that were epic, so epic that I still remember them. And then, man, he flew me back out there about a month later, and I actually played on the record, and I got to play with his old friends from Montrose, Denny Cormasi on drums, and Bill Church on bass, and it was like a...
you know, you have such a storied career, but I mean, to me, it seems like it's all been an evolution to your solo career.
Totally has, brother, and I thank you for saying that. It truly has. I've never felt more inspired. I've never written more. Songwriting used to be a real chore for me. And all of a sudden, it's almost like there's a Zen thing about it. That you know, I certainly wish I could have found that years earlier. But
you know, all at its own time.
Better late than never.
Yeah, it's so funny because, man, in all the past pictures, and like when I would see you with Brother Kane and with Alice and everything, you were always wielding Gibson Les Pauls. It's kind of interesting to see you out with your acoustic here today.
Yeah, man.
And so is this what you write with a lot?
I write. I have this Hummingbird Pro. I've got a J200 that I've had since the Brother Kane days I refused to drag around on the road.
I remember that one, man. That was a cool guitar.
Yeah, I did tour with that a little bit. But,
yes,
you know, man,
did.
my family and I moved here to Nashville back in 2013. And, you know, I had a relationship with Gibson through all the years.
Yeah.
So it was definitely, you know, you make your list of like, here's some great things about moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
Gibson's just down the street.
That's not a bad thing, especially when we get to go to, like, you know, the analog and see the new guitars being rolled out for 2019 either, which, you know, you may be taking a few out on the road this year.
I've always got Gibsons, man. Gibsons and Epiphones.
Yeah.
I have a gorgeous black Epiphone custom.
Oh, dude, those are so nice.
And I've got a Flying V that I'm playing a lot. That one's on a T-shirt too.
Awesome.
DamonJohnson.com.
Where also now if when viewers go to the website and everything, and a lot of people I know download the music now, but you guys are offering it in CD and album form. If they get it off the website, are you signing it to fans?
I
also?
am. All the copies are signed, and
you'll have the merch tables out on the road.
Oh, brother, the merch table is everything for independent artists like myself.
It helps you afford to do the next music and the next album.
Yeah, and that's really all I want, is to get to continue doing this. You know, I think throughout many people's careers, you know, there's all this emphasis on growing the business and money, and there's all these mouths to feed, and it can, you know, it can turn into like this giant thing,
yeah.
which can be great. But I think I've sort of envisioned this level of operating for quite some time. And, you know, it was last year, about a year ago, that I decided to take that leap. And it's just been so fulfilling, man. In
well,
so
and I'll
many
tell
ways.
you what, you got to be getting a lot of radio play off this too, because
I have.
It's such a great album, man. You know, and like I told you, it's nice to hear more great rock music, especially fresh, coming out, and not just the heroes that we all grew up with, but you doing some new rock. And I mean, Memories of an Uprising, I mean, I think you knocked it out of the ballpark.
Well, thank you very much, Eric. I think I'm always going to be committed to making new music that has a classic sound.
Right.
You know, I'm never seeking to reinvent anything.
You got that rock and roll voice too.
I just love guitars and amps and a great band,
yeah.
and trying to put the focus on the songwriting. And you know, it's kind of cool that there's not as many of those bands doing that now.
Exactly. Less competition for you.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, be sure, follow him on social media, check out the website, get your copy of Memories of an Uprising, Damon Johnson, and you're going to want to see him live also, so he'll be out on tour this year.
Yeah, man.
Great music. If you like to rock and roll, this is for you. Thanks for watching The Rock and Review.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.